right now on 5 on your side at 10.
We're enjoying this autumn warm-up. How long it'll last, when the wind will calm down, and when we'll see some much-needed rain and some of that heavy.
We were literally, up to our necks in the creek a lot of times playing in it.
Contamination concerns. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel speaking with a man demanding change after he lost his best friend. Why he believes it's connected to the Coldwater Creek. A murder mystery. A serial killer charged with murdering 4 women. Our I-Team with details behind the quest to find a 5th victim. And we'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first right now, breaking out of Cooper County. Multiple fire agencies, including St. Charles County, are responding to a large wildfire. Sources say the fire is burning out of control. Again, this is in Cooper County. Evacuation efforts are underway for the town of Woodbridge at this hour. I-70 in Cooper County is shut down due to 0 visibility. More on that story just as soon as we get it. Turning now to our continuing coverage of Jana Elementary in Florissant. Families voicing their concerns over reports of contamination. Good evening. I'm Brent Solomon. Jana sits on the floodplain of Coldwater Creek. Families are worried about the possible risk in and around the school following reports of high levels of radioactive contamination. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel is just back from speaking with him. His concerns, Justina.
After reporting about the potential red flags at Jana Elementary, St. Louis County resident Brendan Foley reached out to us. He says he's been heartbroken after losing his closest friend about 15 years ago, and he believes it was connected to Coldwater Creek.
These are some letters and postcards that I received from Mike through the years. He decided to join the Navy after high school.
Going down memory lane. Precious moments captured in photographs.
So I grew up in Florissant, Missouri.
Brendan Foley holds on tight to these times with his best friend Mike. Both live near Coldwater Creek.
To take our bicycles, ride them over to the creek, play in the creek, catch crawdads. So we were literally, up to our necks in the creek.
The two were inseparable.
We knew each other our whole lives.
But now, they've been apart for more than a decade.
Mike passed away in 2007, and it was a rare form of brain tumor that was pretty aggressive, and he did everything he could to fight it, but it took his life. He was only 39 when he passed away. Time heals, but I still miss Mike. We were really close.
Foley believes Mike's health troubles are tied to Coldwater Creek.
I mean, I honestly don't have proof, but I do because of the rare type of tumor he had. It was fairly quick. It was about 2 years. It was really painful losing him. I still think about him.
In this 2019 exposure analysis from the CDC, it says children who played in or around Coldwater Creek from the 1960s to the 1990s may have been exposed to radiological contaminants. The CDC estimated this exposure could have increased cancers. Foley and his best friend played there in the early 80s.
I worry about every child around that contaminated soil.
Even though the two didn't go to Jana, Foley worries others could lose their best friend too.
Find the money, the funds to help clean it up. It needs to be done. It's important to me just to keep other people from going through something like this.
As far as Jana Elementary, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will begin sampling inside the school on Monday. We have reached out for interviews with Hazelwood School District and the superintendent. We have not heard back.
All right, Justina, thanks. Tonight, local detectives recently brought answers to 4 different families when charges were filed against a serial killer for the murders of 4 women 30 years ago. And tonight, a quest to identify a 5th victim. The I-Team's Christine Byers brings us exclusive new details about the mysterious case.
While some families got answers,
they told us that they had identified this guy, and we were just in shock.
It just was like,
Maryland Heights detective Chris McNamara is working for the one family and the one victim who still doesn't.
Do they know what happened to their sister, to their daughter, to their mother?
McNamara has been working with lead detective Jody Weber from O'Fallon on unraveling the secrets of alleged serial killer Gary Muehlberg. He told detectives he killed 5 women between 1990 and 1991. But he's only been charged with 4 murders because detectives can't find any trace of the 5th victim.
He was a frequent visitor to the Cherokee Stroll, which was referred to in that day, and he would patronize prostitution in that area. He did mention that he might have kept her remains within the package that he created the longest.
The package Muehlberg described was a cardboard barrel with a lid.
But he said over time, that cardboard became just, unstable. In an effort to have a more stable package, he bought a barrel, a steel barrel.
The alleged serial killer also says he left the barrel at this car wash along Natural Bridge in Berkeley. Now it's a vacant lot.
He thought it might have been winter because either before or right after disposing of that body at the car wash, he washed his van, washed it of snow, so we could determine at least a season.
McNamara tracked down the former car wash owner's son. His father died a few years ago, but he remembered a body being found around that time.
And he remembered it specifically, and he said, yes, my dad was very upset about that incident, but it was not the one on Natural Bridge. It was our location on Pennsylvania at Mallard.
Turns out the family owned another Ramjet car wash in Pagedale. McNamara tracked down a former Public Works employee who said he saw the body.
He remembers looking at her because everyone else was looking.
McNamara hit a dead end when he tried to track down records. Pagedale police told him old records were destroyed in a flood, and the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office couldn't find anything either.
It could be just a typo. It could be maybe it was listed under a different address. If Gary is the one that's accurate and discarded the barrel on the Natural Bridge location, was that barrel ever inspected, or did it go to the landfill?
He's in prison. He's not going anywhere. So why put so much focus on it?
It's just as important as someone that is not in prison. These are cold cases, and they're not forgotten.
McNamara says any detail, no matter how small, could break this investigation open. He's asking anyone who might remember anything, even the name of the barrel-making company in St. John, to call the Maryland Heights Police Department. You can find the number along with more information about the car wash on KSTK.com.
Christine Byers reporting tonight. A boil order remains in effect for several properties west of Stadium Drive near SIUE. It comes after a brief power outage late Friday afternoon at a city water treatment plant. 3 affected apartments are Park at 720, Sand Road, and Lakeview Commerce Center. Another affected property is the Gateway Commerce Center. The boil order does not include SIUE. People who are impacted are asked to boil any tap water for 5 to 7 minutes. Today, more than 200 churches came together to help feed the community. The Urban League partnering with those churches to make it happen. Organizers say this is about bringing folks together and giving churches a chance to share their mission. One pastor believes doing this will help create safer neighborhoods.
We had a bullying incident a couple of days ago down the street. It was, I think it was on the news. And we want the people to know that the church is here. We're not just inside the church, but we're coming outside of the 4 walls and we're connecting with the street.
The program is also designed to connect people with important services like COVID vaccinations, mental health, and even wellness resources. It's a drug to help with ADHD, but is it becoming difficult to find? Our National Verify team with what parents need to know now.
3, that's a winner! Come back and get you a prize!
Halloween coming early at the St. Louis Fire Department. Firefighters combining fun with important tips to keep you safe.
More warmth and strong wind gusts, then get the rain gear ready. I'll time out the showers and the downpours.
An update now to that breaking news we brought you at the top of the hour. We want to show you these images of the wildfire that's happening right now. Multiple fire agencies, including St. Charles County's fire department, are now responding here in Cooper County. Sources say that fire is burning out of control. Evacuation efforts are now underway in Woodbridge, and I-70 in Cooper County is shut down due to 0 visibility. People in Edwardsville enjoyed the nice weather with the return of their Q and Brew Festival. It's a backyard barbecue competition and craft beer festival at Edwardsville City Park. Teams showing off their skills behind the grill.
for a grand prize of $12,000. People also got to enjoy live music and more than 40 craft and domestic beers. This event returns tomorrow from 11 until 5. The St. Louis Fire Department hosting its Fall Fire Safety Festival today. It happened at the fire department's headquarters on North Jefferson Avenue. Families got to enjoy ice cream treats and even jump on a variety of bouncy houses, all while learning about fire safety. One firefighter sharing how kids got to live their firefighter dreams.
We give the kids an opportunity to come and play on the fire truck, and we also show them our equipment and our tools, and they get a chance to sit in the captain's seat and sit on, in the back of the fire truck and have fun.
All right, children also got to wear their Halloween costumes while participating in Trunk or Treat. Other activities included face painting and balloon animals.
And Brent, boy, the firefighters are busy in Cooper County, and we've been talking about this. It's dry, it's windy, grass and brush is very dry. So if a fire starts, which it did in Cooper County, it spreads fast. We have some sprinkles too out there. We'll tell you where. Coming up, it's going to be a warm night.
The CDC says 1 in 10 children in the U.S. is diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Doctors often prescribe medication like Adderall to help, but there's word Adderall is in short supply. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team is on the case.
In 2020, more than 26 million prescriptions were filled for Adderall and its generic substitute. But a viral Twitter post by a pharmacist claims there's a nationwide shortage of Adderall with no end in sight. So let's verify. Is there a nationwide shortage of Adderall? Our sources are the Food and Drug Administration, the American Society of Health System Pharmacists, the National Community Pharmacists Association, health research company Trilliant Health, and Adderall maker Teva Pharmaceuticals.
Teva Pharmaceuticals manufactures about half the U.S. supply of the drug, which is commonly used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
On October 12th, the FDA announced that Teva is having intermittent manufacturing issues, which will impact its ability to meet demand through the end of the year. While other companies also make generic Adderall, the American Society of Health System Pharmacists says they can't produce enough to make up for the shortfall from Teva. So, yes, there is a nationwide shortage of Adderall. The FDA is encouraging people who take Adderall to talk with their doctor about using an alternative medication or your pharmacist about whether another pharmacy might have your preferred brand in stock. With you at Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Maybe there's something you think we should verify for you. Go ahead and reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or email verify@ksdk.com. The director of the CDC has tested positive for COVID-19. Officials say Dr. Rochelle Walensky is experiencing mild symptoms tonight. She is up to date on all of her COVID vaccinations. She's also isolating right now at home. Any work meetings she has will be done virtually. Senior staff and other close contacts have been notified. Well, Pfizer announced plans to sell its COVID vaccine once the government stops paying for it. The vaccine would be sold at $110 to $130 per dose for teens and adults. But people with Medicare or private health insurance would most likely only pay a fraction or maybe nothing at all. Pfizer also plans to provide free vaccines to people without insurance through a patient's assistance program. Well, if you want to put more money away for retirement next year, the IRS will help. Today, the government announced it will let you invest nearly 10% more in 2023. Right now, you can save up to $20,000, but the increase will allow for you to save at least $22,000. The jump is due to rising inflation. With Halloween coming up, eBay says it is removing Jeffrey Dahmer-themed Halloween costumes. It comes after the Netflix series about Dahmer has sparked controversy for being insensitive to Dahmer's victims and families. eBay says its policy does not allow, quote, listings that promote or glorify violence or violent acts. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at your weather forecast. Maybe you're headed to church in the morning or going to brunch for the weekend. What can you expect? Jim here with the answer.
Yeah, a little bit windy out there too, and dry though, except we have a couple of sprinkles, Brent, that have popped up just like we thought on the radar. I'll show you where those are coming up, but wanted to show you this. A lot of people down at Reba McEntire's concert tonight, and these are my cousins. Jamie's birthday, shout out to her. And there she is with her dad, mom, and two sisters. All right, checking in with what's going on. The camera is shaking quite a bit. So we not only have the wind and some of the gusts 40 miles an hour today or close to it. 72 right now, south wind at about 14 and gusts 20, 25 miles an hour. So maybe up to 30 even during the overnight hours, but back up to near 35, 40 mile per hour gusts tomorrow. But it's going to be a warm night. In fact, overnight lows, temperatures now in the 60s and low 70s, and those overnight lows in the 60s. So we're not even getting down into the 50s tonight. 84 today, we did that yesterday too, and 55 we started out there this morning. Tomorrow morning, low 60s for overnight lows. So very warm if you're headed out in the morning hours, very early. And then, of course, we've got a big hurricane. This is a Category 4 hurricane. Puerto Vallarta is right about there. And then you've got Manzanillo, Mexico. This is expected to be just north of Puerto Vallarta, but it's a huge storm. So they're going to watch not only those wind gusts to about 130 and higher gust, and then that rainfall, possibly as much as 10 inches as it moves into Mexico and then eventually Texas, which they need the rain. And it might interact with the system coming up our way, so a chance of rain showers here. But we have a little bit of lift in the atmosphere tonight, maybe a sprinkle or two south and east of St. Louis right now, and then it clears back up overnight. The next system we're watching is this one that is going to be moving our way from Monday night and into Tuesday with some downpours expected. And here's the timing on that. Really Monday night, Tuesday, showers, maybe some thunder in here, and those rain totals 1 to 2 inches expected. All right, so that's a weather alert day for Tuesday because the morning commute and the evening commute look wet. And it's warm before that and windy, and then it's kind of cool and stable after Tuesday.
100% chance of rain.
Yes, on Tuesday.
Yeah, that means there's no doubt about it.
My
Thank
day
you.
off.
Yeah, there you go. All right, my friend, we have Corey here with sports.
We do, and Mizzou tried their best to blow it today on homecoming against Vanderbilt, but as the coach says, a win is a win.
They won.
We'll have that coming up next. Well, even though the Cardinals season is over, we still have some interesting nuggets to talk about every once in a while, like the reports last night from the Athletics' Katie Woo and others that bench coach Skip Schumacher has interviewed for the Marlins open manager spot. You know Cardinal Nation would hate to see that fan favorite leave town. But how about some baseball that is still going on? The Astros are having no problem with the Yankees in the ALCS. They won 5-0 tonight and still haven't lost a game this postseason. One more win and Houston heads back to the World Series. Game 4 of the NLCS was a wild one tonight in Philadelphia. Homers from Machado, Soto, Schwarber, and 2 from Rhys Hoskins for the Phils. Philly just wrapped it up. They win 10-6 and are also a win away from reaching the first World Series for that franchise since 2009. In a lot of ways, this year's Blues team will go just as far as their goaltender Jordan Binnington can take them. Last postseason, he looked like the Binner of old, and he's carried that level of play into the 2022 season. Blues in Edmonton today facing the Oilers, and there's old friend and Stanley Cup champion Jay Bouwmeester in the crowd. Good to see Jay Bo doing well. Blues strike first. Tarasenko to Krug. He buries it for his first goal of the year. As I said, Binnington was great today. Even a juggling Connor McDavid couldn't get past him. Binnington stopped all 23 Oilers shots. Justin Falk added this full ice empty netter for good measure, and the Blues win 2-0 in Edmonton. Binner, your thoughts?
It's nice to get the shutout, but you know, especially the win and just having fun on the road and then keep building and it was good. It's good to see the team just playing together out there and playing for each other.
Now I want you to take a look at this play from earlier today. That's Mizzou's Luther Burden III with the ball in his hands. And let's slow it down here. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in his way to the end zone. It doesn't matter. He fakes them all out and he's going to score anyways because that's what a special player does. However, he couldn't beat Vanderbilt all by himself today for the Tigers in half and let Vandy back in the game. Time winding down on a 4th and 1, and Mizzou stands tall to squash the upset bid. They escaped with a 17-14 win over Vanderbilt. Coach, how do you see it?
Yeah, this team needed it. This team needed it, the staff needed it, this fan base needed it. And I know there's going to be a lot of comments about how ugly it was and all that. It don't matter. It's a win, and we needed a win, and it's something that we can build off of and grow off of.
It was homecoming at Lindenwood today as well, and the 4-2 Lions hosted OVC rival Murray State. I don't know how Cade Brister got that pass off, but he does. It ends up in Kobe Smith's hands, and he ends up in the end zone. Back and forth early in this game today, but the Lions would separate themselves. Check out this nice play. Great throw from Brister coming up. Even better catch and a stretch from Peyton Rose. He dives into the end zone for a tremendous touchdown. Lindenwood gets the homecoming win today over Murray State. Never want to lose on homecoming.
Yeah, I was going to say it wouldn't be homecoming, right?
That's right.
Congrats to them. Thanks for your company tonight. That's it at 10. Saturday Night Live is next.